Tom Hanks, lovely to have you with us. When you're playing a person who did actually exist in reality, what kind of obligation, if any, do you feel that you have to them?
That's a real interesting question, because there is a fealty that you have to pay to the movie itself. You know, there are beats that are expected from the movie. There are motivations that you have to make happen, because otherwise you don't really have a story. And I was very lucky on this, is that because I gave the world COVID back in March of whatever that year was, 1,000 years ago. Everything we were doing was brought to a halt, including, I think, a lot of the direction of what the story was between Elvis and the Colonel. And that gave us about 6 months to ponder what the direction was going to be. And Baz and I had a protracted conversation about a month before we came back in order to continue on, in which we took each other to task over what we were doing in regards to the Colonel. Was he a cheap carny? Yes. Was he did he have an artistic bone in his body? No. But that belied the fact that he was not Elvis's manager. He was Elvis's promoter. And I think that in the work that we had done together, Baz and I and everything else, that we were able to put together, I think, a realistic approach to what a genius the Colonel was up until 1968.
I believe I can be great too.
Oh, no doubt. But we could be even greater together. But to achieve this, I need to represent you exclusively.
Exclusively? Sir, I don't follow.
When you're playing a real person, do you look for all of the answers about how to portray them in the script, or do you go away and do a whole lot of research more widely beyond that?
They have an awful lot of reference material that they can draw from, which is, look, that's a treasure trove as an actor. You know, if I could get film of anybody that have to play, if I can't meet them in person and try to inhabit their bones, so to speak. I will tell you that because of the COVID protocols, Austin and I never saw each other in the course of making this movie. On the days that we were shooting together, I did not see Austin as Elvis until he walked on the stage as Elvis.
Well, you may go to college, you may go to school, you may have a pink Cadillac, but don't you make nobody's room now, baby. Come back, baby, come back.
Can you ever go anywhere, like sit on a train or something like that, and have a chat with a stranger and them not know who you are?
I can have a chat with a stranger, and I can do that, but chances are they know who I am. And that's an even cooler exchange, because they'll say, oh, there you are. Are you enjoying your day? How's your shooting going? We know you're here. Are you like it? You know, how are you feeling about Goldie? And I will have a conversation with them about their family, about their kids. And I do appreciate it, because they don't make a big deal about what's going on. They sort of get it. I've been a celebrity long enough that I think I've been in people's houses, you know, since the advent of the VHS tape. So they're relatively familiar with me just enough. So I will say that I had any number of exchanges with folks who knew the job that I was going down here, or on vacation themselves, or they make this their home. And we were able to have, I had any number of nice exchanges. I had the other kind too, you know, that were like, hi, how are you? No, sorry, I can only do so much, and then beat a hasty retreat. But when the other thing happens, I always appreciate folks that recognize what's going on. I mean, let's not be silly. I know what I do for a living, and their willingness to just ask, you know, regular questions they would ask of anybody waiting to get a coffee, you know, or a flat white. Do you enjoy the flat whites, Tom? That's always a nice exchange.
It must be lovely that your work connects with people.
You know, it's always the thing that's most important is, you know, what their connection was to a movie. I think, like you, I can probably tell you where I was and what theater I saw, any movie that is memorable to me. And I find that people are really, they connect a movie with a very specific time in their life. And who knows what that movie would be? You know, they could just be going through the channels And it always comes down to, and I'm delighted by the fact that it's from a very personal moment in their lives that they're sharing with me when they saw the film. And there's the other stuff, because you're famous, that's something else. But I love it when people say, you know, I was in this circumstance and I really needed something, and just by accident, you know, Apollo 13 came on, or That Thing You Do came on, and it really filled me. If nothing else, it took me away for a couple of hours from something that was quite preoccupying. And isn't that a bit of the magic of the cinema in the first place?
Tom Hanks, thank you very much.
Pleasure. I enjoyed it.
Hi, I'm Leigh Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.